I started racing in 1959. I was still a teenager, right? At the Gap Hill climb, South Buona Vista Road. You know, that's the hill climb. Didn't do very well. In fact, I think I better not say it in public, but my first place was last.
69, I bought myself a very nice motorcycle. I was not that keen to race, but my neighbor borrowed it, and he won first overall in the clubman race for beginners. 70, I had no excuse not to race. I had a good bike. They said, "You've got a winning bike. Why can't you ride a winning bike?" So I went in, and it's been quite fun ever since then.
Number 271 should be in 10th place. So that'll be the top 10 at the end of 9 laps of racing here on the International Speedway. That would be the position.
There was not much to do in Singapore in those days. No internet, only black and white TV, no other big sporting events, no live telecasts. So people came to watch the Grand Prix, which was the biggest event in town. And the crowds came, it was very exciting. There was also much easier for them to relate to the Singapore Grand Prix than to F1 today, because Singapore Grand Prix had classes where they allowed you to race bikes and cars which you could buy out of the showroom. So every young man among the audience would imagine himself driving his family car or his putt-putt motorcycle in a race. So it gave them vicarious thrills.
I think things are more modern, more up-to-date, more technically perfect today, safer, all that kind of thing. But the excitement is, I guess, still there in a more organized fashion compared to those days. You know, one of my friends who restores vintage cars, racing cars in California, he says he remembers the days when the drivers were fat and the helmets were skinny. So, you know, in other words, not safe. Huh?
In those days, vehicles had far fewer safety devices than they do today. No airbags, no seat belts. Crash helmets were not as well designed as the helmets today. And the track, well, there were rubber trees on the side of the track, and if you hit a rubber tree, you didn't bounce off.
Lampposts, bus stops.
So, to take part in motor racing, not just in Singapore, but generally in those days, you had either to be very, very brave, very, very stupid, or just plain crazy.
No doubt. I've attended many Grand Prix around the world. Huh? Singapore, I must say, is quite different. Some of the others have their own excitement, but the Singapore one is a night one, and it's got a lot of other activities. So if you get tired of walking around the circuit, right, you can always get over the bridge, go down to Albert Street or wherever to have nice food, and that's the Singapore experience, right? Well, nostalgia, definitely. I wish I was 30 or 40 years younger. Right? We all be, I wish we were 40 years younger. I'll be right in the middle of all that racing, I tell you that.